Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope you all care, so share. And yes, please, the comments sound off below. Yes, trackies, the women's 100 meters, Tia Clayton, unfortunately did not get a spot on the team at her national championships because of injury. She had one opportunity, and that's the Diamond League finals, women's 100 meters. Could she win the wild card? Standing in her way, the Olympic champion, Julian Alfred. Was it going to work out for a Tia Clayton? Unfortunately, trackies, I have bad news. Yeah, I was literally in tears. Had to, wipe my eyes before I got on camera because, yeah, I was really screaming and I go Tia, go Tia. You know what I mean? But she tried, trackies. She tried her utmost best. And yeah, that's what I'm proud of. I can hear my voice cracking. But that being said, let's dive into what actually happened in this women's 100 meters. So before the gun actually went off, there was, a false start by Mary Jose Talou Smith. She did end up running under protest, right? And her result was, taken off after the fact. However, right, because of that false start, I know some of y'all may think that, hey, this could have thrown off Tia, especially given the fact that if you were looking at her, during the, announcement of the athletes, the introduction, she looked hella nervous. You know what I mean? So many may think that, hey, this could have thrown off Tia Clayton. But actually, track is, in that first go of the gun, though it was just a short view of it that I had just one time, I didn't think she had, the best start, right? So actually, for me personally, I was happy they got a second go at it because that first go didn't look like her best, execution coming out of the blocks, right? So again, though some may be disappointed and think that that threw her off, I actually thought it was a better opportunity for her to get that start down pattern. Boy, when I tell you, trackies, she got the start of her life. She was leading Julian Alfred out of the blocks. That's how good her start was. And I was like, yes, go Tia, go Tia. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is she really going to do it? Are we going to get that, performance that will silence, a lot of people that believe she can't go as fast as many of us, have charted her to go, which is 10-7. Right track is, unfortunately, as I said, it was not to be in that women's 100-meter finals. Julian Alfred managed to overhaul her, I believe, roughly around 80 meters. She was able to overhaul her and go away for the win. And that win was at 10.75 seconds. So not quite the 10-6, that many, believe that Julian Alfred would be able to lay down, but still, equaling her season best 10.75. She looked pretty good. Outside of her start trackies, I have to say that she looked really good, really confident, almost cocky, I would say at the start line. She was chewing gum like, okay, I'm that girl. I'm like, okay, Julian, you're that girl. You're the Olympic champion. What can we say? You know what I mean? But her start for me was the biggest hiccup, I would say. And if you know Julian Alfred, she's not one that falters at her start. So that was kind of eye-opening for me. But also commentary also reiterated again that she suffered some kind of injury setback. So all of y'all that are coming for me, in the comments and going crazy, y'all can continue. Do you? You know what I mean? Keep doing you, right? But anyway, moving on to Tia. As I said, I definitely thought she got a really good start. And honestly, yes, the last phase of her race wasn't as strong, for her to transition into, potentially getting into 10-7s and challenge, right? And that is how she lost out in the race. But honestly, trackies, I thought it was an amazing effort by Tia Clayton. I was literally standing and going crazy. I was like, go Tia, go Tia, go Tia. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. You know what I mean? But of course, Julian Alfred, not only superior when it comes to experience and of course times that she's been able to drop so far this season, but her top end, is superior to a Tia Clayton. And as such, trackies was able to overhaul in the final phases of the race. So Julian Alfred, did I say the time was 10.75? Well, that's what came up on the screen, but it's actually 10.76 with Tia Clayton running a 10.84 seconds. So not quite equaling her season's best. That is Julian Alfred. Talou Smith's time, as I said, was retracted, so she doesn't count. Dina Asher Smith actually came through in the race, 10.94. I talked about not being, happy with what I saw in her last outing. She comes here and she rights those wrongs and ends up being third, 10.94 seconds. And I'm like, okay, with Jasha shares right there for fourth, 10.96 seconds. So track is, honestly, this is literally the top five that many people expected. Maybe not in this quite order, because I did think that, Jasia Shears would have ended up fourth and Dina Asher Smith fifth. But given, the execution, 10.92, 10.94, 10.96, I said it was going to close between all three of those athletes, and that is Talu Smith, Dina Asher Smith, and Jasia Shears. And it was really close. You know what I mean? It came down to really, the slightest of margins with these athletes. So no harm, no foul. I really thought they executed really well. And yeah, it was just, one of those things where Jamaica was really looking forward to seeing Tia Clayton get that spot. But I want to go back to what I said, in my preview video, that at the end of the day, Tia Clayton is here to win. And this is, a big challenge for her. And by here to win, I mean when she goes to major championships, she's lining up against these girls to win. So if she has any thoughts in her mind, you know what I mean, to go to the world championships and factor, then taking down Julian Alfred has to be one of those things that you understand that you have to do. You know what I mean? So for me, this was a moment, for Tia to really step up to the plate and, kind of bring herself to the fore. It didn't happen here, Tracky. So all I would have to say about that is, hey, give her some more time. Give her some more time, and she'll definitely get there. I still think the 10-7 is there, in her legs. It just didn't happen. Today, her last phase failed her, in my opinion. But given what she did in the start, I'm like, listen, if she can put those two together, she's going to be absolutely trouble. But again, from a developmental perspective, when it comes to athletes being able to, execute a perfect race each time they step out, it literally takes time. It takes years for athletes to be able to come out and hit their mark every single time, when they're executing. It's not just going to happen just because we will it. You know what I mean? As fans, that is, of the sport. So yeah, she didn't win. She placed second, but I thought it was a really, really, fantastic effort. And yeah, Jamaica, as in relates to Tia Clayton, not getting the spot simply means that, hey, she wasn't ready to go to the world championships and take down a Julian Alfred or, a Melissa Jefferson Wooden. So we leave that for the years to come. And yeah, just allow her to develop a bit more as, time goes on. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing her in 2026. I know she's going to be really, really good in 2026. And as I said, the years go on. All right, so trackies, let's dive into the men's 100 meters, where, of course, we had the defending champion, the Diamond League champion, that is Ackeem Blake, going after the title yet again. And he stood a very, very strong shot of defending that crown. And boy, trackies, the race came down to the wire, separated by mere hundreds. That's how good these athletes were in the men's 100 meters. And I thought it was a really, really great race at the end of the day. Now, taking the win was Christian Coleman, and he ran 9.97 seconds. In second place was Kani Simbine, and he ran 9.98. Yeah. And in third place was Ackeem Blake, and he ran 9.99 seconds. Yes, trackies, it was absolutely thrilling. It came down to a lean between these athletes. But I have to say, though, Christian Coleman, pretty much led from start to gun, or start to tape, sorry. So, yeah, he took that win. And I've been talking about Christian Coleman funny, and I said, coming off the USA Championships, he looks kind of renewed and refreshed. He looked a bit stressed out throughout the whole season, I'm not gonna lie, and we may attribute some of that stress to other stuff that was going on. And he looks a bit more free and untethered now, and is running really well. And I thought he was a danger man in this 100 meters, and yeah, it proved right. He ended up taking the win. Of course, I had Ackeem Blake winning, but the danger man took the win. Christian Coleman can't be mad at that, right? Now, Kani Simbine put things together better here, got a better start, and of course was able to accelerate past Ackeem Blake, and take second place here. Not by much, but second is second at the end of the day, 9.98 seconds. No, Ackeem Blake, funny enough, he didn't get the best start. He didn't get the best start. So from I saw him coming out of the blocks, I was like, oh my gosh, no, because if the start ain't banging, what's going to happen, for the rest of the race? But funny enough, he rallied. That top end, his form did not break. He accelerated perfectly. His form didn't break, trackies. He was literally, in my opinion, a step behind the athletes, and that is Christian Coleman and Akani Simbine, in the start of the race. His acceleration moved him past Akani Simbine at one point in the race, but then Akani Simbine was able to, take back the lead from him, kind of, and then, coming for a second. But overall, I thought his execution was really, really good outside of a poor start, which makes me go, so if he had hit that start, start, he would have won. You know what I mean? That is what I'm thinking right now when I think about, this men's 100 meters and the execution. But overall, track is, I can't complain. Really, really strong race. These were the athletes that I really, was looking at the end of the day, and they're the ones that stood out in the men's 100 meters. So no real complaints here. We will be seeing Ackeem Blake, representing Jamaica in the 100 meters at the World Championships. I'm excited to say that things are coming back together, for him, and I'm definitely excited to see what he's able to deliver, once he gets there. But yeah, that's what happened in the sprints. But anyway, Trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Good attempt, I thought, by Tia Clayton. Really, especially in that first 60. I was like, oh my gosh, were you all going as crazy as I was? Listen, I was ready to do that boom flick. Listen, I don't know how to do a boom flick since I was a child, but I have a workout mat, and I was ready to, turn my camera around and try something, on that mat. But it wasn't to be, so I saved myself the embarrassment. Anyway, Trackies, as I said, sound off, like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.